Hello, Living Dead Dolls fans. This is Josh, aka Doggiepants, and I'm coming at you by myself in order to get back into my series reviews. It's been a long time since I've done a series review, and we are now on series 16, which is great because this is a really, really cool series. So I hope you guys like them. Yes. I've gotten done with all my Mezco reviews, and probably next up is going to be series 30. And then hopefully that'll come out this month or the very beginning of November. And then in November, we will get, for sure, Series 30 if we didn't get it in October. And then we'll also get the Oz set as well. So keep an eye out for those. But for now, we're going to go back to the series reviews. So Series 16, which is a cool series because it's the first set that they did that's Halloween themed. Series 18 was also Halloween themed in that they came in costumes, but this was the first set that they did that for. And an interesting fact about Series 16 is that when they released images of the dolls, they released them with their masks on, so you didn't actually know what the dolls looked like until we got to see prototypes, I think at like Toy Fair maybe? I can't remember if it was Toy Fair or San Diego Comic-Con. But we finally got to see their faces, which was awesome. So like always, I'm going to start with my least favorite and then go to my favorite, and I'm also going to start with the coffin. So here we go. Here is the coffin for Series 16. It is a black, very simple coffin. I apologize, mine's a little dusty because it's been on my shelf. And let me take off the plastic. Plastic's really similar to everything they've done before. The tissue paper on the inside of Series 16 is orange, thus the Halloween theme. And then we see the chipboard is unique to each doll. So this one obviously is for Eleanor, and Eleanor is a ghost. So you see her with her mask on, or her sheet, I guess, since she's a ghost. If it's one of the other dolls, they come with their masks on. So you get to see the hands of the person that's terrified there. It says their name at the top. It says Series 16, and then obviously it has their poem as well. So that is the coffins. So let's get started, shall we? And interesting enough, I started with Eleanor, and Eleanor is my least favorite. But she is a good doll. She's not bad. I don't know why, but I've never been a huge fan of the Screaming Dolls, except for certain unique situations. But this one is actually really cool, and the variant version of her I like even better. So again, this is my least favorite, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad doll. It just means that it's my least favorite of the series. So here we go. Here is Eleanor. Let's take a look at the outfit. The outfit is very unusual. So here we go. So it's a one-piece white dress here, and it does feel just like a kind of a cotton material. It has the appearance of being a little bit dirty. It's very, very simple, right? So it's one-piece dress. It has this like ribbon detail that's been sewed onto it. And it's these 4 vertical stripes that then attaches to a horizontal belt, all with the same kind of ribbon material. And then she has this square white collar. And the collar, a lot of times people don't notice this from the drawings, it does have a little bit of a ribbon detail around the neck as well. So it's like a little bit of a curve there. So it's kind of a wavy pattern that you see in the back as well. This is all one piece, and it does Velcro right at the back. It is long sleeve. There's no frills or anything around the sleeves, but that is the dress. Underneath the dress, she does have on the standard Living Dead Dolls Mary Jane shoes, but she also has the black tights that we first saw on Jill with Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill's were striped, obviously, but hers are a solid black color. But they are a separate piece, so you can take these off, and it's separate from the dress. It does show up through the material of the dress. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that a little bit, so just be aware that you can kind of see the black tights underneath. But that is the outfit. Let's take a look at her hair. She is one of those dolls, kind of like the Lost, which had intentionally thin hair. And sometimes it's really cool with her. I'm not as huge of a fan. She shows off a lot more of her rooting than I'd like her to. She's very, very thinly rooted. See, look at those bald spots. Again, it's intentional to give her kind of like thin, creepy looking hair, but I just prefer when they do a little bit more of a lush hairdo. What can you say? Let's take a look at her face. Boom! Look at that. a really cool face paint, right? So she's got a lot of details, like this spider webbing around her eye. She's got a very simple, like, white eye that's looking up. She is a screaming doll, but we don't have any teeth on this doll. She's just got kind of a black gaping maw there. And then she does have some blue lines that kind of emphasize the bags under her eyes and her, like, screaming lines here. But there's no eyebrows. Oh, well, no, there's no eyebrows. There's a little bit of veining that you can see on the top of the head as well, but that's pretty much it. If you lift her hair, you can also see the way that it's rooted. Her rooting does not go very low, obviously, to kind of keep that thin-haired doll look going. But again, I think she's actually kind of cool. She's neat. All of these dolls come with the exception of Isabel, I believe, come with a little trick-or-treater pumpkin basket, right? And it's actually really nice plastic. It's solid. It seems like it's not going to go anywhere. These handles sometimes can get a little wonky. They are kind of a rubbery plastic as well, but they're just stuck into the holes with little pegs. See that? So they can kind of pop off or they can be twisted weird. Sometimes you got to give it a little finagling to make it look good. And also the black in the pumpkins sometimes is a little bit janky. This one looks pretty good. But I've seen the paint job get a little messy on this as well, so just be aware of that. But this pumpkin goes nicely in their hands because every single one of these dolls has a curved shaped hand so that they can hold their pumpkin accessory. If I can get it into her hand, there we go. There you go, which is cool. So if you like to display the dolls with their accessories, she's a good one. They're good, are all good. Yeah. Oh, and then obviously we've got her outfit, right? So, bam. This comes folded up in the back. It is her costume for Halloween. And this is the way that it's cut and shaped, right? So we've got basically the loop for her head, and then it's just almost like a giant square rag, right? With this little opening for her head with two eye holes cut out. So I'm going to put it on her so you can see what it looks like. If you like to display them in their costumes, it does take a little bit of lining up to get her eyes right perfectly in the hole. But it's kind of cool when you do it. So there you go. That is Eleanor, the ghost. Great. Moving on. Now this one may be a little controversial because he tends to be a favorite. And he was just resurrected last year, and he was a great resurrection doll. But that's Pumpkin. I like Pumpkin. I think Pumpkin's interesting. When the dolls have face paints that appear to block what their facial features would actually look like, I'm thinking about the Day of the Dead dolls. I'm thinking about Pumpkin. I always feel a little cheated, like I don't know what they actually look like. I know that sounds really stupid, but it's the case with Pumpkin. When Pumpkin first came out, I was like, oh, he's got a mask underneath his mask. I wish he would have been a little more haunting underneath his mask, But yeah, anyways, let's start taking a look at this doll. So he's got a one-piece jumpsuit. It feels a lot like, without the bump in the back, a little bit like the jumpsuit from Series 17 Hook. But I guess he was first, so whatever. But it's Velcroed up the front. So it's all one-piece jumpsuit, right? There's obviously a lot of blood on this doll. There's red paint that's kind of everywhere that goes down onto his hands as well. But it is a one piece that Velcros actually in the front. And I'll show you. You can unvelcro and take it off of him. It does also have, see if I can show you in here, a little pocket. Two little pockets, actually, on both sides. So it's like a workman's jumpsuit, right? These pockets, I don't think they actually work. No, they don't. There's no opening. They're just there for decoration, so you couldn't stick anything in those pockets. But be aware that they're there. Again, he is a curved handed doll. He does come with his pumpkin, but he also comes with another accessory as well. Two of them. I'll show you in a second. He has standard Living Dead dolls boots, and then he does have socks. They're short socks, and they're stuck in his boots, but they are there, so I'm happy about that. He's got actually really nice hair rooting. It's pretty thick for a boy. Mine's a little bit messy, but still looks pretty good. The hair lays pretty nicely, really thickly rooted. Good job, Pumpkin. Looking pretty suave. And then obviously he's got this face paint, right? So I'm going to hold the face paint up. So he's painted to look like a pumpkin, right? And he's got this big white grin with kind of, I don't know, candy corn looking teeth, but they're all white. Extreme cutout black eye there, black nose, and then he's got these yellow eyes that have a little bit of red around the edge. There we go. Yeah, but he is a skin tone doll, right? So his whole body is skin toned. It's just his face that's painted to look like this pumpkin. And then, like I said, he does come with an accessory because he's clearly a mad serial killer looking guy. He does come with the machete, right? So I think this machete we first saw on Cuddles, but here it is, covered in blood. There's the handle has a couple little dots, right, to make it look a little authentic. And then this slips into his hand here so he can hold it and be on display. But he's only got one curved hand, so you can only either have him with his pumpkin or have him with his machete. He does also come with a mask, and here we go. This is the pumpkin mask, right? You want to be super duper careful with all these masks because they are pretty flimsy plastic, and I've seen a lot of them break. I actually, for Mishka, I don't have her mask. Sorry about it. But yeah, anyways, just beware. They do break. But that is the mask. It just looks like kind of a standard pumpkin. The triangle eyes are a little bit mirrored in his scary eyes as well, right? So there we go. And the inside of the pumpkin also has a couple little like bumpers on the side to help it fit nicely on his face. And I will put it on his face for you. Here we go. That's what he looks like with his scary, scary mask on. But that is Pumpkin. Boom. Woo. Let's keep moving. So next up is somebody I just mentioned, Mishka. Now, Mishka, a lot of people don't love, and you can actually get her for pretty cheap right now. I actually really like Mishka. There are definitely things that I'm not a huge fan on with her, but I actually tend to think she's a really cool designed doll. You get this a little bit of like werewolf feel from Mishka, right? Well, obviously because she's a werewolf costume, but even her underneath, she kind of gives this werewolf feel. So let's take a look at her outfit. All right, I'm a little scatterbrained today. Sorry, guys. She has got this amazing little denim dress, right? And the denim dress does have a pocket right there on the front, and it is a working pocket, so you can stick things in there. It is a dress, again, here we go. And then she's got this plaid shirt underneath. Be careful, some of these Mishka dolls, the collar likes to stick up. Mine, the one that I have right now, actually lays pretty nicely, which I'm pretty happy about. There are a few little decorative buttons, or no, I guess it's just one decorative button right there on the shirt, which I think is a really nice detail. Obviously, it's decorative. Another thing that you want to know is that the shirt is not a separate piece from the overall dress, or the overalls. The, what do you call them? The little things that come over and attach for the overalls. That is not attached to the shirt, so you can kind of pull this down over the arm. But the rest of it, it's all sewn together right along here, and it is Velcroed as one piece up the back. Now, just like Eleanor, she does have the black tights on underneath, and instead of the Mary Jane, she has regular kind of Living Dead doll black shoes. But she does have a similar feel to Eleanor in the way that she's built. And she has really terrible hair, and I think that's one of the reasons that people don't love Mishka, because she's got the same thin hair design that they did for Eleanor, which always felt a little like chintzy. Like, okay, yeah, maybe it's part of the design, but really it's just poor rooting. And her rooting is terrible. Look at the bald spots that you can see on this doll. I don't mind a thinly rooted doll's hair if it's going for effect. If I don't have to look at giant bald sections on the doll. That is not the case with Mishka. Now, she is third for me because I think the design of the doll otherwise is so freaking cool. I think she's pretty. I happen to love green dolls. I've mentioned this before. But I just wish her quality was a little bit higher. So that is her hair. She does have a pretty intense widow's peak right there, the top two, which again, love the design, wish it was better quality. But the best thing about this doll is her face paint. Her face paint feels so old school Living Dead dolls. Something about it, it's simplistic, it's scary, it's haunting. I love it. She's got this really intense, like hardcore eyebrow there, and a lot of shading around the eye, and then these bright yellow eyes, right? But she also has the drawn on fangs. And I actually kind of like it with her. It's not really extreme like we've seen on Claret Winter or anything like that. It's a little more subtle, doesn't feel super cartoony, and it just gives her a really cool effect from far away. Now, again, I don't have her mask. It is a werewolf mask. You can Google it online and see what it looks like. I buy all my dolls used, so sometimes they come with their accessories, sometimes they don't. Um, I don't display them with, so it doesn't bother me so much. And sadly, I did not get her mask. But again, she does come with a pumpkin as well and has a curved hand to hold it. That is Mishka. All right, we're still moving. Next up is Squeak. Squeak is one of the strangest Living Dead dolls out there. Like, I remember when I saw a picture of this, I was like, are they releasing a pig doll? Is that okay? Oh, okay, that's happening. Okay, and I was blown away. I love her. I think she's incredible. She has got this amazingly bizarre outfit, right? So it's like a giant pink onesie. And I'm going to take her shoes off so you can see that not only is it a onesie, but it goes all the way around her feet as well. I'm kind of surprised they gave her shoes. I think it was because they were trying to make it look like she had hooves, like a pig or something like that. But these black shoes actually slip over footy pajamas. So she's got these pink footy pajamas. Now, it's a really simple kind of pink cotton. It is intentionally dirty in spots. And then she does have a series of buttons that go down the front. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. They are just decorative, but this piece in the front is Velcroed, right? So you can remove this onesie. On the back of the onesie, come on, you're killing me, is a little squiggly pigtail. It is made of plastic. You want to be careful so that you don't break it, but it's frickin' adorable. One of the cutest things ever. Now, most squeaks, not most, I don't want to say that, a lot of the squeaks that you will find open online, she will be missing one of her gloves because the gloves do not like to stay on. They went for a full body onesie kind of piece, but these gloves are, boop, separate pieces. So they're really, really easy to lose. You want to be careful with these little mittens that she's got. And I'm going to have a hard time getting it back on, so I may not even bother for this video. But, oh, nope, got it. Bam, there we go. So those are her mittens. What's weird is this hand, her right hand, is curved so that she can hold her pumpkin. So it makes the mitten fit a little strange. But if you're just displaying her, you're not going to be able to see that. Next, moving forward with her is her hair. So she's got this blonde pigtail hair, right? Pig, get it? Yeah, amazing. It's almost white. The blonde is so intense. Pulled up in pigtails. The pigtails are extremely messy. You're going to find a lot of squeaks where the hair goes in every which direction you can possibly imagine. And I think that was by design, but it feels unintentional a little bit. So, I and some other people like to boil her pigtails kind of into a more acceptable, manageable shape, which is what I did with her. I don't know. Again, we're like deep into the what's going on with the hair rooting issue with Living Dead dolls. Series 16 was definitely a major player in that section. So who knows what's going on with her hair, but her hair is not too bad. It's not thickly rooted. It's only rooted around the edges and down the middle. They do that so that the volume of the hair is not too intense. She does have bangs, right? A little bit of bangs that come down with a little bit of curl to them. And I'm going to hold her up so you can see her face paint. Her face paint is really kind of freaky, right? So she's got these extreme bloodshot eyes with red smudging around her eyes, these really kind of haunting white, blue, piercing pupils. She has a really dark lip with a little bit of that kind of sores around her mouth. And then we have a little bit of the branching off of her face. I love the branching off of her face because it's really, really subtle. Sometimes you don't even notice it. Lately, and I'm thinking of like Series 30, the Madam that's coming out, the branching is a little intense. Like it worked for Revenant, but after that, I'm kind of over it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the branching all over the face. It's a little much. But hers really nice and subtle. So she, of course, comes with her pumpkin, like we mentioned before, and she also comes with this Adorabla pig mask. Look at it. Come on, stop. It's got a little snout. It's got a little smiley black face. Around the eyes is a little bit of black paint as well, and there's a little black in the piggy ears too. So you can put this on her face. It's a little difficult because of, ooh, am I going to be able to get it? Because of her pigtails. Got to do a little bit of finagling. But there she is with her mask on. That's Squeak. Squeak is one of the coolest freaking dolls. I still can't believe they made a pig doll. Love her. Love her to death. All right, so that is Squeak. So that means, obviously, my favorite doll from Series 16 is Isabel. Yes, Isabel Lark. One of the coolest dolls ever, right? Because I love it when they do the big, elaborate outfits. Like, I know it's not feasible to do it on all of the dolls because, you know, you've got to kind of offset the cost within the series. So you spend a lot producing Isabel, but you spend less producing Eleanor. And I get that. That's totally cool. But, like, when they do have one of those big, huge, kind of elaborate dresses in a series, it really rounds out the series in the way that a series needs to be rounded out. And I love it. So let's take a look at this amazing, beautiful, beautiful dress. So this dress has a lot going on, right? So the top portion is, I'm terrible with materials. It's like a satiny kind of material, right? So it is got some volume to it. We've got an underskirt, which has got this amazing pattern on it. There's no tulle or anything underneath to keep its volume, but it holds the volume pretty well, the dress does. And then we've got the overtop layer. This overtop layer is sewn to the bottom layer right here in the back in that straight line. They do that quite often. And then we've got this like weird kind of front bustle right here. Now the front bustle is offset a little bit. You're going to notice that a lot of these, every Isabel that I've ever had, the dress tends to not be centered a little bit. It just, for some reason, wants to go off to the side, but it doesn't bother me too much. But I thought I would point it out that it does seem a little off-center. Now, this goes, the same pattern from the underskirt goes onto her bodice that does have a high neck. There's no collar or anything. But there are these really cool, like, skull buttons that she's got on. See those? Those are really neat. Now, the same kind of satin material that's on the over part of the skirt gives her this giant poofy sleeve that comes down into a really tight sleeve that does have a little point right there at the end, at the top of her hand. So there we go. Now she is a bent arm doll, right? That first bent arm that we saw on American Gothic. This is the first series doll, I believe, with a bent arm, and it's so that she can hold her really, really cool mask, which we're going to get to in a minute. I'm going to take it off and set it to the side for now. But just be aware, she is a bent arm doll, and I don't think she came with a pumpkin, but I don't remember because I don't have her coffin, so all of my accessories are kind of thrown into one thing. So if she did, put it in comments and tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think she did. So let's look at her hair. Her hair is also pretty thinly rooted, but there's a lot of design in the hair. So we've got her hair's pulled back into this really tight bun right there on the top of her head. And then she has these strange little tendrils, and they're pretty hardly crusted with gel. And I leave the gel in there because otherwise they tend to go every which way. But they kind of pull around to the side of her face, right? So there we go. Then she does also have some curved bangs. And then she's got these weird little ponytails in the back of her hair that's pretty thin little pigtaily kind of things hanging in the back. But they are there. During the design, I don't think a lot of people realized that she had those. It wasn't until they took her out of the coffin that you really saw that those are in the back of her hairdo. So her hairdo is actually kind of cool. But again, the hair is really thinly rooted. Not a big fan of gel, but still really cool design. She is a blind doll, right? So she has Tessa's blind eyes with a lot of blood happening here. The eyes are actually built into the mold, and you can actually go into the socket of the eye, and then there's more plastic on the inside to give it kind of that hollow effect, right? And it's painted black on the inside there. And she's got a really simple kind of purpley lip, and that's pretty much it for her face paint. Really, really cool design doll. One of my favorite blind dolls ever. But her best thing, in my opinion, is her accessory. Now, take a look at it. She has her beautiful, beautiful eyes, beautiful eyebrows, airbrushed for the gods, little bit of yellow eye looking up. There we go. Eyelashes on the side. And then if you turn it around, you can see that it's almost like those eyes were actually ripped out and placed into the mask. They're like these red, or it might be the nails that she shoved into her eyes to get rid of it. I don't know. But it's put on this old style masquerade mask, right? One thing that's really interesting about this doll is these nails or actual eyes, whatever they're going design-wise, it fits perfectly into the doll. So you can actually just place the mask into her eye holes and it actually completes her face. It's pretty cool. Nicely done, Mezco. Nice little detail. A lot of times people don't realize that. I display her with her accessories. She's the only doll. Well, that's not true. One other one, I think. I think Orchid. I display with her gun. I don't know why, but I love it. But she's the only other one that I display with her accessory because I think it's so freaking cool and is important to the design of the doll. Yeah, but that is her. That is Isabel. And I think that's all of them. You know, sorry, this video is a little long. I'm a little tired. It's late in the evening. It's been a long day. But I wanted to make sure that I got in another series review before Series 30 shows up for me to review. So I hope this is helpful. I hope this, you know, gets you either excited or whatever in regards to Series 16, or helps you at least make the decision whether or not you want to buy them. I did complain a lot about the hair rooting in this set and some of the design choices, but I have to say they are still some of my favorite dolls. Series 16 is pretty high up there. It's a really, really cool set. So they are worth buying, I promise, especially this girl and this girl. Love them. Yeah, but that's Series 16. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Again, I will be back soon-ish, I'm sure, with Series 30. And we can take a look at this frickin' mermaid, right? That's it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye. And life goes on.